All right, folks, gonna call to order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting. It is 16 December 2025 at 6 PM. If everyone would, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Go for agenda review, starting with Christina,
I don't want anything, thank you.
Kathy.
I do, on the orders, the school district orders need to be added on E.
School under E
Yeah.
Actually,
or under G?
under G.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, G.
Next page, yeah.
And there's one other thing, what was it? Oh, it wasn't requested for me to do the library budget, but I did get the library budget thrown together too for under budgets, where you can put it.
Okay, well, just do it,
Wherever.
we'll do it with general, right under C, general
Okay.
and library.
All right, and that's it for me, thank you.
Nicole?
I think I'm okay.
Earl?
Good.
I'm good. Good?
Good.
Steve, good, Brian?
Okay, I got a couple of little things here. Under old business, just like to talk briefly on the library elevator update. Under new business, talk about, we've scheduled, on the town office an energy audit. And, also under new business, change in, billing for the dispatch with St. Albans Central Dispatch. Very limited information, but I just want to touch base with it at this time.
Okay. With that said, we will move on to the meeting topic. The first item of business, regular select board meeting of December 2nd, 2025. Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Public comment for anything that is not on as an agenda item? Okay. Right up to law enforcement. Chief? How's the chief doing this evening?
All right.
Congratulations on your truck bus.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a more interesting case. And demonstrates how bad the problem is. In November 2025, there were a total of 81 incidents in the town. The top 10 incident types were 24 traffic stops, 18 directed patrols, 6 suspicious, 4 agency assists, 3 crashes, 3 citizen assists, 2 motor vehicle complaints, 2 custodial disputes, and 2 motorist assists. Out of those 24 traffic stops, 2 tickets were issued and 22 warnings. There were no arrests, and there were 40 additional service hours. And that number is higher due to the fact that we have one of our part-time officers based off of Grant assisting Lucy with their caseload. So those are all 100% refunded grant hours. The hours that are attributed to the Newsy work.
Oops, I didn't hit somebody.
They've been doing patrol work, is that what the,
No, Newsy is special unit sex crimes. So it's definitely one of the areas where law enforcement needs to do some of our best work due to the sensitive nature of the victims involved in those crimes. And they're quite a bit. It's shocking how busy Franklin County is, and so we had been approached years ago to see if we could help. We just didn't have the staffing, and then our part-time officer was interested in doing that sort of work, and then the grant funding became available up to $20,000. So she has been taking on cases associated with that. Just for Swanton Town and Village.
How many hours does she dedicate or is she paid for to do that?
Well, up to the $20,000. Once that's expended, then she, will run out of essentially
Is that
money.
like 100 hours or?
It's varied. I want to say, just going off the top of my head, it's probably been about, I don't know, maybe 10 hours a week or so.
That's significant.
Yeah. So she just started taking cases back on. There were probably 6 intakes in the first week or so. Week, 2 weeks.
I was on that board years ago. It's discouraging, what you see.
Yes.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. It's something else for sure.
You refer to it as Newsy?
Newsy, the
Because-
Northern Unit for Special
Okay,
Investigations.
was there, oh, so it's Cousy might have been a Chittenden
Cousy is the
County,
Chittenden Unit for
That's what
Special
I-
Investigations.
Someone I know, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was kind of the umbrella over Cousy also when I was deputy chief in Burlington. I would essentially the now lieutenant. At times it waffled back and forth whether it was a BPD sergeant or lieutenant who was supervising that unit in Chittenden County. But so we had embedded officers. We had 2 officers and the supervisor, I want to say, in the Chittenden unit.
What's the headquarters for Franklin County now?
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's co-located with the state's attorney's office.
Where's that?
London Drive.
Oh, okay, that's
In
what,
St.
okay,
Albans,
yeah,
yeah.
all right, yeah.
Yeah. So that explains some of the additional hours. And just in looking at this, I went back and did a quick look at the totals. There have been approximately 200 hours of additional service hours provided so far this year. We have been busy trying to finish up our training. Last week we completed our use of force, which required 4 years of essentially hands-on training and use of force. And then we are continuing to experience staffing challenges. We have a full-time officer who is leaving us as of the end of this month and moving out of state. So we certainly wish him the best, but we have the positive aspect is we have 4 officers in the pipeline. So 2 that are pre-certified that we have in process currently, and then 2 candidates who have no law enforcement experience. And all of them are very strong candidates.
Saw you on the news recently, WCX, with about Operation, I think it's called Stone Garden.
Stone Garden,
Yeah.
yes.
How many officers in general do that in terms of income?
It depends, it varies, so we probably, I wanna say currently, we probably have, the majority of our staff is trained, and participating in different numbers of shifts, depending. So in the summertime, we're one of the only agencies that assists in patrolling the lake on the border. And we do have that maritime asset, a 25-foot Boston whaler, that also we use it for search and rescue style missions also. So it certainly benefits the community from that aspect. I can tell you that I was called out once. Vermont State Police asked me to go out into Missisquoi Bay to look for a kayaker that may have been in distress in the lake in the early spring. Water temperatures were really low still. So I was able to hop on that boat and get out into the bay quickly because the next nearest asset was Fish and Wildlife, and they were based out of North Hero. So it was going to take them a little bit to be able to respond. So that's a huge advantage. We have been able to acquire equipment through the grant that there's no way we would be able to acquire this sort of equipment. The boat's a good example of that. 2 cruisers. So that's not coming out of taxpayers' pockets, so to speak. It's federal funds coming through the Stone Garden grant.
Okay. And do officers tend to get a lot of hours through them, or is it just something minimal?
It's pretty much unlimited, but it's all overtime. So it's not during our regular shifts. Officers are working their regular 40-hour work week, and then if they choose to engage in Stone Garden, the state Homeland Security Unit essentially puts out the shifts that are available, and then officers can sign up for those shifts on an overtime basis. Again, 100% reimbursed through the grant. But it certainly assists in public safety for the community because it is a big issue being a border community. And as I explained in that interview with WCAX, I mean, there are people up in these different areas right along the border where they didn't even feel safe allowing their kids out of the house alone to play because there was so much traffic. Certainly during the prior administration, the numbers have dropped right off. Also, individuals were afraid to, say, for example, in large farms, they weren't sure who they were going to encounter, whether they go out in their barns and encounter somebody, or just walking through their property. It was really a huge increase, and if I recall correctly, I want to say in FY23 it was around 7. The Swanton sector, which is a huge landmass, right? It's eastern New York, all of northern Vermont, all of northern New Hampshire. But they had 7,000 encounters with individuals crossing the border illegally, and that was more than the previous 11 fiscal years combined. In fiscal year 23 and in fiscal year 24, they were on pace for 10,000 encounters. And the big difference in looking at that problem, I'm sure everybody here saw some of the news coverage of the southern border, so the numbers were certainly much greater on the southern border. The interesting thing on the northern border is it seemed like there was a lot more human smuggling going on, that there were vehicles coming up from New York, New Jersey, and they were literally trying to pick people up who had crossed the border illegally and then disappearing back in the United States with these individuals. So we had no idea who was entering the country on the so-called gotaways that were making it across the border. So it's a program that puts more officers in the field in general, especially when you're talking about municipal and state law enforcement. It gets more officers out into these rural areas immediately surrounding Swanton is where our focus tends to be. So for us, for example, if you're working in the Swanton AOR, it's Alburgh, it's Swanton, and Highgate are the communities that you're essentially patrolling along the border.
Are the numbers down this year, Chief?
The numbers down for encounters?
Yeah.
Oh, they're drastically down. I mean, they've dropped right off. It's unbelievable, the difference. I mean, there's a handful here and there still. Also the unfortunate thing is probably the majority of these people are trying to just seek a better life coming to the United States. But if they have valid asylum claims, they should go to a point of entry and make those claims there so they can be processed appropriately. And when these individuals who are guiding them through these remote areas are doing so, and they're taking large sums of money from these individuals, a lot of times they're ill prepared for weather, especially like this. They're not accustomed to weather like this, and then they're suffering frostbite, and there's other severe adverse outcomes. I'm sure you've seen the news stories of people found frozen, up by the border in different areas across the northern border. So it's a huge problem, or was, I should say.
Yeah.
It seems much different now.
Good job.
Anybody?
All that?
I got just a couple. Looking at the report of the different incidents, is that one particular officer maybe that is doing the traffic stops? Because it seems to be just certain days, or other days there's just so much going on, we're not getting out. And I know law enforcement is not something we can do 100% because there's so much other stuff that needs.
Yeah, I
to be
mean,
done.
it's certainly possible. We do have one officer that engages in a lot of law enforcement. I mean, I would have to look to see if it aligned with his shifts, but he does do substantially more traffic than the other officers. So it certainly could be the case, and it really depends on the work that they're doing at the time. So, for example, like this most recent warrant that we did, that was one of our evening shift officers that did a great job doing surveillance on that property and then developed probable cause to get the search warrant. But he spent a considerable time in the woods, in the cold, making direct observations of what was going on at that residence. And so that takes a great deal of time, just doing something like that when there are two on shift. So it really, it depends. But we do have one officer that's very proactive with traffic enforcement, and certainly I encourage the other officers to do the same, especially. And then when we get into this time of year, sometimes They have valid concerns about safety associated with the lack of shoulders on the roadways. You know.
Sure.
And so making those traffic stops in the winter can be a little more difficult versus the summer. So I'd like to see the numbers overall increase, and that's what I'm encouraging them to do. But yeah, that's probably an accurate assessment that aligns with the one officer who's very proactive.
Second question, LVRT parking, we have a frequent flyer down there that I guess was staying in a vehicle in Sunoco and McDonald's before, but it seems to have chosen the LVRT parking area. I drive by every other day and pretty much see the car there.
Sedan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Well, I think it's someone from around here, and I was told he was offered the chance to go back and stay at home, but there's some issues. But what can we do to come up with an ordinance or something? Do you have any thoughts about living out of a car? Has that other communities done anything like that? I mean, it's pretty obvious he's not there using the LVRT. All his
Yeah.
stuff's in the car, the thing's idling for, 20 hours a day probably.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there are people that live out of their vehicles, and I
terrible.
guess it depends on what the town would like to do. I mean, certainly, it's AOT is the one who kind of manages the rail trail itself, right?
The
But the
trail
parking lot
itself.
The
is
parking lot's the town.
the town. So
Yes.
again, maybe create an ordinance where there's no parking after a certain hour.
But what about during the day? I mean, they're there all day. He's there all day.
Right, but I guess the other issue with the LVRT parking is sometimes you get people who want to go out for multiple days at a time, right, and then return.
Yeah, I'm thinking of living out of a car. Is there even, has anyone ever done anything with that? I mean, it's obvious he's living out of the car, the thing's full of his goods. He's just propped back in his seat, and to me, it makes an uncomfortable situation for others who want to use the area.
Yeah,
No rest facilities there.
I'm not aware of an ordinance like Burlington. We didn't have anything like that, and there
About
were multiple
loitering.
individuals. Loitering's an interesting way to address it as far as through ordinance. That's certainly a possibility also. If you don't really, like you said, he's not really using the trails, and just using the parking lot.
Never
as a
seen him
parking
out of the
space.
vehicle.
Yeah, so that would be probably an interesting angle, a creative angle to address it.
And I know you guys are very familiar with this guy. Because
Yeah.
I've called a couple times and they described the vehicle and
Yeah,
McDonald's and Sunoco and other places
yeah, just from your description, I think I know
For
who it
here.
is. Yeah.
all over here.
So unfortunately, my understanding was he was thinking about moving out of state, which apparently has not happened. It was supposed to happen a few weeks ago.
Okay,
But again, a creative solution like a no loitering ordinance,
yeah, and then I think
Like-
we have to look at how we define loitering, but yeah, something that.
right? If you're
has enough
not,
teeth.
maybe you're not using the trail, you clearly have no, valid reason to really park there other than just using the parking lot.
Right. And if it was an occasional thing for a couple hours, that's one thing, but this is camping.
Right.
Moves around just enough, but essentially camping.
And or a camping ordinance. So I know I would have to do the research, but we had pretty good camping ordinances in Burlington to address that, where it was only allowed in designated camping areas such as North Beach.
Maybe we could research the
Yeah.
Burlington ordinance and see if that's anything, and then also loitering.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But you could also craft that ordinance in a way to prohibit car camping, so to speak,
Okay.
in certain locations.
Yep. Sounds good. Anything else for the chief? Thank you very much.
Merry
Have a
Christmas.
good Christmas.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to animal control, which is in the package. County Road barking complaint unfounded. Dog is unlicensed.
You know, Kathy, if any of these dogs have been licensed?
Let's see. I believe the 8 Platt Street's been licensed. And I'd have to look to see without a name. I can look at the address and see. I can check to see if they have them.
We found out the dog isn't skinny in one of these. So like the dead cat that ran away.
Any questions, folks? Like several unlicensed dog issues and some of them are getting taken care of. I'm not convinced they all are, but looking at this. Okay, moving on to item 5, Highway Department, Berry Road Culvert funding. So I sent out some notes and they're part of the package, page 15. The Berry Road Culvert replacement is estimated at $700,000 plus or minus for construction. So I put a note there, still working funding sources, but the way that I think this project is gonna get done is, number one, if the district structural grant is approved, it's a $200,000 max grant, 20%, so it'd be 160 we could get out of that grant. We are 21 out of 32 right now on the list, but they said sometimes that doesn't really matter because other people don't put in for an application that year, so we could get it and we might not, but 160,000 would come out of the grant. I'm proposing 300, and when we look at the highway budget, it's gonna show 300, but there's 50,000 carryover from the road improvement. So on that line item, we could get $350,000 from the 2026 budget. I reduced the paving by $250,000, left 200,000 in the paving. Our roads are in very good shape and we did lots of paving this year, so one possibility is to make that change. 90,000, I'm recommending we take out of special funds. There's 157,000 right now that has not even been committed. We've had that money for 5 or 6 years. We said it would probably go into capital projects anyway, so I'm proposing 90,000 be committed to the Berry Road culvert replacement. And then for 2026 is to borrow 100,000 of the 560,000 that is committed to the rec building. In 2026, the best you're gonna get is design accomplished, and design would be in the $120,000 range, so there's a fair amount of money that we're sitting on for that building. So if we borrowed 100, and then we would just pay it back out of the highway budget when it's approved in 2027. Doing it this route, if everything goes right, we could do the project in 2026. One of the issues would be that grant money. Even if we didn't get it, then we could talk about either borrowing more from that rec line item or just outright borrowing some money. The grant money, if we get it, we can't start till, I think it's 1 July is what was on the other ones. But we could bid in advance and say, subject to funds availability, because we can't wait till 1 July to put the project out to bid, because everyone's gonna be busy then, but that's something we could look at. If we bid early, start no earlier than 1 July, subject to funds, I think we'd be in good shape. I have had some conversations with other agency of transportation sources. The problem with that, that kind of money, you might get a $600,000 grant. That is very similar to the LVRT grant. We'd have to go through a different firm to design it. We already have a design done, but we'd have to go to a selection process because it's federal money, and then get a different firm to design it. And then we have to go through NEPA, which is environmental process, which is bigger than the what the state permit requirements are. Then we have to get right-of-way permits. We can just do a, construction easement, but this involves right-of-way, permits. At best, you'd start construction in 2029 and possibly even go all the way to 2030, if we go that route without trying to get that kind of money.
Is there a safety factor here, Joel, that, I mean, I understand we have to wait. Is this culvert unsafe to a point where it might cause some safety issues when people are going over it?
In my opinion, there is a possibility of that thing at some point collapsing. The good news is 3/4 of it is relatively intact, but the bottom is shot. So if it were to fail, it would hopefully fail and close in some and still hold the road up, but I can't guarantee
Yeah,
that.
I'm
That
just
thing-
curious, that's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's in bad shape, so if we were able to get that grant, and the grants close in October, so we wouldn't even know until October of 26 whether we get that grant. 2029 or 2030 is when it would be constructed, and it would add probably up to $150,000 in project costs, is what the individual I was talking with from the state today. So it's a possibility, and if that's the route we want to go, we certainly can try it. It would save some money out of the highway budget, save the taxpayers some money, but it might or might not happen for quite a while, and we might, if we don't get the grant. You know, if we get 600,000, 20%, that's 120,000 we'd have to pay, and then you'd have to add in the, whatever the difference was, another 100,000 or so.
Should we begin accruing for whatever participation that we have to put up front?
Well, that's what we would do. If we decide to go with option one, it's already built in the budget we're gonna discuss. And then if we go to option two, we would push that money, some of it, back into paving. And we could accrue some of that as well for doing it down the road. Yes.
For example, we got in 1A, said 160,000 from grant, that means we've got to put up 40K. Would that be correct?
The way I look at it is, it's 200,000 we need for the project.
Yep.
So I'm showing that as we're 160, and then we make up the other in those B, C, D.
Okay, all right.
In
So
the,
it would come
same thing, but that's,
internally,
yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, I'm not sure it's a great idea for us to wait, that's my only concern, the condition of that, but that's for the board to think about. We saw the pictures of it, and, anyway. The project is funded, is designed right now. One of the permits, we got some email traffic back saying the person from the state has no issue with it, they're just waiting for a few other people to give them some feedback, and they should be signing off that. Then we have, I think, just one other permit, and this will be pretty much ready to bid if we decide to go with it for 2026. We've got 2 construction easements to do.
Yeah.
Those would be pretty straightforward. So that's some of the possibilities as far as the Berry Road culvert. Very expensive project, but if we're gonna keep that road open, it has to get done.
How much money do we have in our capital budget for the highways? I know it's for the truck fund, but how much is in there?
I don't know, Rob, they're right up the top of my head. I can tell you.
Also, one of the bigger issues with that road too is if there was some major flooding up through there, they probably would take the rest of it out. Because it could be, you know, that's what's happened over the years. I don't think that culvert had the capacity for sometimes when the water was going through there.
Well, to give you an example, the state wants to go, instead of, that's about an 8-foot culvert,
Yeah, well,
state wants to go with a 35-foot
I can,
box culvert.
I can
It's-
see,
right.
I can see why. Being
Yeah,
that-
part of what happened too is a dam, beaver
Yeah.
dam let go, so that helped plug it and make good, but, yeah, that's why they're going with such a
Yeah.
big one.
So we have 106,747.61 in the truck fund, equipment fund.
And we put, what, 50,000 a year in there?
We put, yeah, 50. Oh,
50. But I think when we warned it, it was for equipment.
yeah.
I know.
It is an
Yeah.
equipment fund, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we can cover this, doing it this way, and next year, that 100,000 paying back to the rec is right out of the highway budget. The line item for the road improvement will be 0. Paving, instead of being around 450 or 500, it'd be 100,000 less than that. And would be whole.
So we'll be 2 years of doing less paving than what we've been doing.
Correct, however, we budgeted 450 this year and we did close to 700,000. So when you reduce that for 2 years, you would still be in the area of what we budget per year. And we'll also apply for grants for paving too. So we don't need to have a definitive answer tonight, because if we go through the budget later, we can move that line item, and it doesn't really change the highway budget. It's whether we want to just proceed or not to replace this culvert. So that's why this was being provided.
Two good options.
And then the next item under highway department, just updates, our newest truck is down. It's under warranty, and it's this DEF system.
What does that mean?
That's,
Yeah.
it's DEF, which is the stuff that gets injected into the exhaust to make the exhaust cleaner. It is a problem with all the trucks. There's 4 different heaters, because if you don't heat this liquid, it'll crystallize and plug up and give you an engine warning. One of the lines that has a heater in it is bad, and they're getting a new line to put in it. The truck's down at Charlevoix right now. The word is they're gonna do away with this DEF system in the next year or 2 for the new trucks, which will be a good thing, because it's been a problem. It's urea. It's liquid urea is what it is that they inject into the system. Crews are working on plowing, vehicle maintenance, and tree removal. Those are the priorities as we get through the winter months. The new pickup is in use. If you haven't seen it, it was a great feeling the other day. I saw one of these white pickups, and I said, "Oh, there's a village truck going by," and all of a sudden I see Kevin waving to me, and it's like town is in a new pickup truck. So the crew up there did the body work and painted the back end of that toolbox, and they did a great job. They saved us many thousands of dollars by doing that, so good job on that. Any questions for highway? Move right on to expenditures. Starting, okay, the expenditure dates are November 19th, 2025 to December 16th, 2025. Starting with the general, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the general budget.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the general budget of $252,961.73.
There is a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I did call Kathy to ask her about the FEMA money, but we've already got the money.
We got that on the 3rd of December,
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. entertain a motion to approve the highway budget for 140, or the highway orders for $147,679.93.
I'll make a motion to accept the highway orders in the amount of $147,679.93.
There's a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library, entertain a motion to approve the library orders.
I'll make a motion to approve the library orders for $2,450.57.
Here a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I was going in the library the other day and, ran into, our highway crew, Kevin. There's an ice issue on that little entrance.
First
On the
Street.
Can we
right-hand
talk
side.
about that in the, not in the budget part
Okay.
here?
Alright,
We'll add it to, new business.
oh,
Okay, any discussion on the library? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Highway general payroll, entertain a motion to approve the orders.
I'll make a motion to approve the orders for highway and general payroll in the amount of $48,007.87.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Library payroll, entertain a motion to approve the library payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the library payroll orders at $9,953.53.
Here a second?
I'll second. Whoops.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Special orders, entertain a motion to approve the special orders.
I'll make a motion to approve the special orders in the amount of $1,509.39.
Here a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made, second, to approve the special orders. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Entertain a motion to approve the Missisquoi Valley School District orders.
I'll make a motion to approve the Missisquoi Valley Union School District orders of $9,760,558.05.
There a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded, to approve the Missisquoi Valley School District orders.
Is that our elementary and high school?
Yes,
It's a little place over on 4th Street,
yeah,
and then it's just going up here.
yes, yeah.
Highgate, hold on, watch this on share.
Any, what's that?
Oh, I was just thinking that district includes Highgate and Franklin, but,
No, this is just the Swanton share of
just
the
a Swan
districts.
share.
Yeah, because you collect the tax money, so you,
Yeah, for Swanton, Highgate does their payment and Franklin does their payment. This is our payment.
for some reason, I thought you sent it into the state and then they distribute it, but
No.
we send it right to the district.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Alright. Old Town Business. Swanton Listers, RFP reappraisal. Good evening.
Good evening.
How's Mr. Horton doing?
Good, good. So when we left off in our conversation 2 weeks ago, I was asked to contact the Vermont League of Cities and Towns to see if they had a template or a draft process for the RFPs for various towns to do reappraisals. There was nothing on their website per se for the reappraisal RFPs. I did contact Mrs. Ramsey. She's a municipal operations specialist, and she confirmed that there is no template to go by. However, she did send a sample of another town that we had not seen, and what we found is all the town samples that we're seeing are all very similar. So we really didn't come up with anything new, and we have not made any changes to our draft of our RFP.
Okay, well, appreciate you, looking into that, and it sounds like then we're pretty much ready to go out with it, right? Based
I
on-
think we are.
So what you found out, other towns are advertising for the RFP is similar to what we're putting out.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
When does that go out, David?
We'd like to send it out as soon as possible.
This week or next week or?
This coming week, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a recommended place to advertise that?
The state of Vermont has a list of approved appraisers,
Yep.
so we're going to submit one to each
Directly to
one.
them.
Yes.
is that, cause that contract will be with the town, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Brian will be involved with that too?
Yes.
Okay,
Or somebody will.
yeah.
Yeah.
As well as the administrator, whether he delegates or not, but,
Right. Yeah.
through Brian. And then the thing, we touched on it last time, and is thinking about when we get the RFPs back, how do we go through the approval process? Cause I think
Right.
as the RFPs are being looked at, there should be somebody, one or two of the select board as part of that group, I think, for the process.
Yes, I think there should be.
And,
Yes.
and that
Yep.
way there's buy-in when it comes to the select board, that you say that here's the number one, number two, number three
Right.
firms, however you set up that piece of it, but, yeah, okay. I don't know if we have any other questions, I think it's time to get it out there.
Yep.
Well,
3, 4, 5 years from now, we might actually start doing the
I think it was
reappraisal.
2029, 2030, when we were talking about it at one of those meetings in Burlington, that was last year, for the earliest.
Well, I'll move that we put the RFP out as presented to the board at the last meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to send out the RFP for the reappraisal for the town of Swanton. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Very well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
do you wanna discuss that over here, or?
Dave, did you guys see on the agenda where we put in the conversation about possibly changing the positions?
Yes.
So I don't know, if you guys wanna stay and participate at all?
I'm gonna stay.
You're gonna stay?
Yeah.
Kevin?
You're willing to stay.
You're staying too? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Earl.
Okay.
Update on the 4th Street environmental work, page 17. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if you have anything more you wanna add, Brian. The one thing, or I just fed back to Brian, and when I look at the proposal they gave us, it seems to me like there's quite a few line items that they won't be billing, because they didn't require drums, they didn't require hauling off of material and so on.
So, this morning, I had asked Eric if there was any additional update other than what was originally sent here on the 11th. And he had, they're still making up the final report. They are gonna have some pictures sent, and that's, and he's of course forwarded all this information to the people in Montpelier. So that's about where it is, and they'll be giving us further details, as he alluded to in this, when they get all the process and the notes and the photos.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was slightly disappointed that during all of the testing that they've done, that they didn't realize that that pipe was just a marker for the water line that's buried under there, and that the drum must have been a dry well and had no contamination, so you would've thought the test around it would've indicated that, I don't know, but, bottom line is, we'll get that final piece of the report, and then, Eric, I don't know, if he gave you any timeline, cause he's supposed to give us a proposal to do up the plan of what we're gonna do with that site.
Right, so he didn't really give a, he said be coming soon, but, you know, if that,
Okay.
if we don't have it by, after the holidays, I'll be making a phone call to him.
Yeah, cause we'd like to get that plan
That
completed
thing going.
before, the snow all melts,
Right.
and then we can possibly move ahead with doing, if we're
right.
gonna put 18 inches of material there, then we get it done. Okay, any
Do we
questions,
have
folks?
to do the whole site for 18 inches or just certain parts of it?
It's the majority of it, it is not the whole site, but when you look at it, if you're gonna try to make ball fields and stuff, you're gonna end up and just tapering it at the edges, cause, otherwise I don't think it's gonna work. We'll take a look at that when, he gets us the report, but, or the proposal, I should say, it won't really be a report for that. It's a plan that has to go to the state and get their approval before we do it. Okay. Next item of business was the library elevator.
Library elevator, just briefly, Glass Skangus got in touch with me yesterday to get hold of the elevator company. They scheduled the engineers to go take a look at that pit on Tuesday, January 6th at 10 a.m. So I notified the library that the elevator will be taken out of service. We don't know quite for how long, probably shouldn't be too long. And I'll meet with them over there, and they'll get down underneath the elevator, and engineers will do their thing and see what they find out.
What's the time on that?
10 a.m.
Yeah, cause I want
on 6.
you to keep me in the loop if anything changes, I wanna be there.
Okay,
Where's the Alliance?
that's on hold until
Till
this
they-
engineer, and I told Alliance that we were gonna have an engineer look at it, and they thought that was probably the best solution. To have it done by an engineer, to figure out why there's so much water there.
Yeah. Okay. Newtown business. Whoop. Earl is under new business.
Okay,
Library snow on roof, item H.
okay.
2026 budget presentation, Swanton Rec. Good evening.
We're doing this together.
What's that?
I said, that's us, Ron.
That ice rink looks nice. Saw some people skating on it. It was great because it was three older,
Right?
and two of them propped up the one in the middle. I think it was their first time ever on skates, and they were trying to move them around the ice, but it was great seeing that start this year. Okay, your nickel.
All right, so, as you can see, our ask for 2026, anticipated to be $254,992 with an increase of 6.39%. Some of our changes were, under registration, Little League no longer is part of our budget anymore. They decided to go off on their own. So that's a good like 10 grand that we'll lose from our budget.
What field will they use now, Betsy?
They'll still use our fields.
Okay.
They're just gonna take on the whole registration portion of it. And then they'll use fields within the district. So they'll Swanton, Highgate, Franklin. And they'll just rotate them. We'll still be maintaining the fields though, so that won't change. We just, we'll be taking care of all the fields.
Do we
setting them.
provide uniforms for our group?
Little League's taking over on that.
Yeah,
They are.
Yeah.
yeah. We tried to discourage them.
They got word from higher ups that they need to take over.
Yeah, it's not, it's Little League America that's making them do it, so. If it doesn't work out, then definitely there's different avenues for our communities, so.
How much time does that save us then?
It doesn't really save us a lot of time. The time isn't changing, just the dollar amount.
Oh, okay.
Our maintenance staff will still have to set up all the fields, and maintain our lawns and line the fields. So hopefully we were supposed to hear back from Little League, just to kind of talk about maintenance, like after the games, to kind of help us out, so. And then, of course, the highlighted in yellow are all the changes. You received this ahead of time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We did put in a line item for new programs, just to anticipate like the offset of, the Little League. So we wanted to put in something for a new program line item. I know that, Nick, our athletics and maintenance, has ideas, but, definitely not set in stone, but throughout the year, we could add potentially new programs, so we wanted to make sure that we had an income line and an expenditure for that. And then we did, of course, have the LVRT trailhead at the expenditure portion on the last page is a number that you gave us when we left the select board. And that's for everything, that's gas, any expenditure. And we didn't break it out in any of our other expenses, it's all in one lump sum, and that way we can just kind of keep track in that line item. So if it increases, decreases, we can kind of see it that way.
So we're gonna pay the rec department to provide all those services up there, is that correct?
Well, what I was gonna discuss tonight is we have the special funds that were set up for the LVRT construction project. I'm gonna say and propose maybe for 2026 is we cover, which is essentially the same thing, but we just cover it under that line item. And we'll track the cost and everything, we'll have a better idea of what the budget for next year, and that way it won't impact their budget in 2026.
Because it has impacted, not in their favor, the budget this year.
Right, oh yeah, it's an increase to their budget, and if we just agree under the special funds to pay for the electrical and the water, and the repairs that are needed, then we'll have a good idea of what that is.
So we're taking it back this year,
We're not gonna do the work, we would just
contract out,
cover the cost.
and so we
When the
would,
bills came in, when the electric bill came in, we would just deduct it off
Well, it
that.
comes to us now, so
What's that?
the electric bill comes to us now.
Yeah, so we would just track it all for 2026, but they would still be the ones watching over and maintaining
Okay.
it.
the only
Well,
question I
they'd still
have,
be responsible for mowing the grass.
Right, all we would just do from a budget standpoint is say, we'll commit 4,500 out of the special funds for LVR maintenance. That's just a thought, I just wanna throw it on the table.
So does that include like the portalette and all that? So
Yeah, that was,
any expense
that was part of the portalette,
Okay.
electric and water,
Water.
and then it was $1,500 for
gas.
well, more for like if you needed a little bit of paint or varnish or something, you know.
So you're suggesting we just take that right out?
That, yeah, and
for this
the
year?
board's gotta say they're okay with it, but I think that's a great way to really track the funds.
And then next year we'll have a better idea of the expenditures.
Right,
yeah, I'd like to see it taken out, because this is, the bottom line isn't really fair to the rec department, because you show a 6.39% increase. If we took that, I used the $5,000 number, took that out of there, because you're performing these services, you're down to a 4.3% increase. So I think we need to decide how we're gonna handle it, and if we pull it out, that's fine, I mean, it's to your advantage. and it's to the tax roll, we're gonna pay one way or the other. So if we remove it, is that what you're saying?
I'd recommend we remove it for 2026, and those funds come out of the special funds, the line item was the
So
LVRT.
they're not gonna be a pass-through, we're gonna do that ourselves at this point, or they're gonna be the pass-through?
They don't even need to be the pass-through, those bills were already coming to Kathy.
Okay,
We just can track it as
Okay.
a separate item, but
all right, that's what
it
I want to know.
saves making it the
Yeah.
pass-through.
Because in
Then what about
your,
your gas and stuff for the mowing and
I think that's gonna be so minimal.
the,
that-
minimum?
I mean, we can track it, but not expend for it.
Yeah, I
to the
mean,
town.
they
I
track
think,
it for themselves,
you know,
they'll know what
it's
they're
gonna, not gonna be too much.
Right.
No,
And
10, 12 times, you're talking a gallon or two, you know,
it's
I
not
would
gonna be
think,
a significant amount.
right.
I mean, we can track it if you want, but,
Oh, I will
No.
track it.
yeah, just so we know.
Well, I would make a motion that we allocate 4,500 out of the remaining special funds left over from that project for this year to cover the cost of operating the trailhead.
because my concern was, you didn't give yourself credit for the 5,000 we were gonna give you in your budget. And I thought, well, that's why I went back through and recalculated the numbers.
We didn't originally say we're gonna give it to them.
Well, you're gonna cover it,
We are now,
They
yeah.
are now.
but even back then, I thought the discussion was.
Before then, they wanted to put it as part of our budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just were gonna say build it into your budget.
All right, well, it's gone, which is a
Right.
good thing.
Oh, we got the motion, or your second?
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Any further discussion?
So the new number,
Hearing none.
Wait,
All in favor, state aye.
I got another discussion here. The new number is gonna be 249, something,
Well, we're not approving their budget. We'll get to that after we take care of his
okay, all right.
his motion.
Can I just clarify, Earl, your motion was to take $4,500 for the 2026 LVRT trailhead maintenance of the money left in the special funds from the trailhead.
from the
Trailhead
trailhead,
project.
specifically from the trailhead.
So we can
funds.
make a separate line item now for that and track it for
Yeah.
2026, yeah.
Okay.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved, so that'll decrease your budget 2026 a little bit. So we're back to discussing, the Rec's proposed 2026 budget.
We got 2,000 in there for vehicle service. Now, I know we talked about a new vehicle, but 2,000, that's not gonna cover no new vehicle.
No, that's just to maintain it.
Oh,
To
okay.
purchase the vehicle, we just use our the funds that were allocated to us for ARPA.
But we haven't, we've asked you to go get bids, but we haven't
Right.
approved it.
No, no one's approved anything, but obviously, we're not gonna get it approved by the time we get our budget done, but if it is approved throughout the year, we still have to cover those expenditures.
Okay. So, your budget really shows this year about a 4.3% increase if we pulled that $4,500 out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a significant amount, I mean, we did lose some revenue, so,
No, but I mean,
and hopefully we'll gain it all back.
it's down because I didn't think the other one was fair to you. I didn't think that was fair.
So is there gonna be any carryover? Cause I don't think this really shows any.
No, it
carryover.
doesn't, because our Q4 won't come to you until the end of, well, 1st of January.
We just got the bank statements in to reconcile for November, so
Yeah, we're always a month behind.
they're doing that now, so I can't really tell you what our carryover is, cause we've still expending things out for this year. I'll have a better idea of it. We will have a surplus from the funds for healthcare that we allocated, because Nick didn't end up taking it this year. Things may change next year. So there is probably about $40,000 extra there, which could come off that ask.
Yeah, we will have a surplus, we just don't know the exact number currently.
So in 2025, did we ask the voters for 239,602?
Yes.
Yes.
So if we did, and I'm hearing there's a pretty good chance of a significant amount of carryover, then we could really be showing a decrease to the taxpayers. Would we have that information available
before it hits the
the
report.
first, I mean, not down to the penny, but if you were anticipating 35,000 and change, I'm just throwing that out there, can you say 34,000 in carryover to reduce this down to 229.92?
Good, or, I'm not really crazy about spending that money we have allocated for the rec department, the ARPA money, because, you know, we're looking at the building.
Right,
Maybe that money could be put towards a vehicle.
yeah. I mean, this budget has already been approved by our taxpayers, so any surplus we have, we could utilize it for other areas that we need.
But let's keep Joel's suggestion going. During these times, if we can show a decrease, the taxpayers are gonna be pretty happy. So, just to further that, if we could capture some money that you think is gonna be forthcoming, would this be the place to make the entry, as Joel just said?
It should be, if it's going out to the voters, is we would show this with a carryover and reduce that number, right? Would be the way it would show it on the spreadsheet in the town, well, in the town report.
Well, it's
and
gonna
then-
show right in their, in what they present.
Right,
Unless we elect to approve it, to use that money for something else.
yeah, I agree.
I think we'll have a better idea as soon as that November reconciliation comes in, because then I can just deduct the December expenditures and have I think a more polished number, but again, I won't know that just until that reconciliation's complete.
Can we wait until then?
And yeah, we can, and not only that, it's gonna be the end of the quarter, so I'm gonna bill you for the.
Right, well, that's-
So there's maybe some stuff.
Well, there's outstanding,
Yeah,
we have outstanding bills, so
So,
that aren't gonna, that will come in our quarter four.
yeah.
so when would we see that info?
No.
I would
I
say,
didn't- I heard you, but I didn't hear.
I mean, we're good if we, our first meeting in January, if we can finalize that meeting, everything, then
Right.
we'll be golden.
January fifth.
So we've got time.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's gonna put,
And
we're gonna have to
there's a
get the
few
bank
things we
statements
could
ahead
do,
of
we could
time for
reduce
the end
it
of
some
Yeah,
and
but
then
you'd have
accrue
your
some of that
But I think
toward.
if we've got November taken care of, I think.
I can see
you
trying
can,
to
Kathy and
drop
I,
this.
we can put
Oh, I
a,
was
You'll have
gonna
all your
promote that anyway.
expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll know what's in your
No,
cash,
I-
it's on the
Right.
ledger, so
Especially
you don't have
'cause
to
of-
reconcile your
yeah.
bank statement to come up.
So will
with
this
that.
come back in your January?
Could you just help me with something? You
Sure.
got three numbers here, 173,512, 66,089, and 41,631.
Oh, so the
What are those?
regular checking as of 10/31,
Okay,
and then money market as of 10/31, so October.
so if I look at this, the 173,512, where is that?
Okay.
Where is it?
Or what is it?
It's what we have in our checking account
Okay.
as of as of
31.
October
So that's
31st.
our checking account.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure that, tie it back into the above, and I said, shit, that doesn't work.
no, that was a formatting error on my bad, I pulled the wrong
Okay,
version of it.
Where are you?
right here.
on the
On the
front
front
page, where it, right here.
It's these numbers right here.
And what's the 66?
I don't have those on mine.
66
page.
is what we have in our money market account,
Money
Yes, you do.
like our special funds account.
I just didn't, there's no label on it, cause I pulled the wrong draft.
Okay.
And then the
I was looking at that and said, oh,
41,631, that's the healthcare
Account
surplus.
surplus.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it easier.
I'm gonna write it in there for you.
Right.
No, I know what it is, yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about, tapping to cut the ask down, is that correct?
Possibly cutting the ass down and possibly using it maybe, as Earl's suggesting, to help offset the other two, and accrual, you know?
Yeah, because if you use that ARPA money, you know, if we're gonna go forward with a building, at some point in time, something's gonna happen. That's just we're gonna make it up one way or the other.
Right.
Sure.
We got it, we might as well use it.
You know, and if you pull that 4,500 out of there, the way I'm looking at this right now, and I'm probably wrong, but you have a overall increase of 3.6%.
Yeah.
For administrative expenditures on the back,
Okay,
because everything else is down, our programming expenditures are down and our revenue is down because of the loss of the Little League
all
program.
right, so this page isn't added to this page.
Correct. This page alone has got a 3.62 increase.
And the other page has got a 14% decrease.
Right, with the loss of Little League fees and uniforms, and the same for our revenue. There's a 13.4% decrease with the loss of
Yep.
revenue
Okay.
from the Little League program in general.
So you pull that 4,500 out of there, you really don't have hardly any increase at all then.
Correct.
Yeah, we're down to $250,000 to pull that 4,500.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we'll be back in January, I guess.
thank you.
Yep, no worries.
Just
Thank
don't
you.
change anything else.
Not
I'm gonna change it all around, just for you.
Cause it looks good overall.
Yeah.
Squeeze that bank somewhere else.
I know.
And, no, it's, you guys do a lot.
Yep, squeeze a nickel till the buffalo screech, that's what you're supposed to say.
All right, Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year. Back here on the 5th. 6. Okay.
Next item of business is the 2026 highway budget. Okay. Let me find it. I looked it out earlier. Okay. On my notes that I wrote, I kind of went over the main changes. Just gonna give me a minute. Culverts and signs have always been a single line item, and to me, it makes sense to pull them out. The total is still 4,000, but we broke it out into signs and culverts. I decreased the paving, Kevin and I talked about it. Paving, instead of being the 450, went down to 200. That money goes down into the Berry Road culvert, so that could easily go back if we decide we're not doing it in 2026. But that's,
So,
put the 250 down, but we also added 50,000 because there were a couple other decreases. Things like
so
the,
for road work, though, we got 200,000?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. Garage maintenance is a big drop because we put the money in to do the paving. Well, the paving's been accomplished, so that's another reason, instead of 250 down under the Berry Road improvements, it's 300,000. 5,000, we took 5,000 out of parts, supplies and repairs. That's a little bit of a guess, but, I think we're gonna be okay with 25,000. We had 30,000 last year, and, to date, we still haven't used it all. Increase in tree service from 12,000 to 18,000. Expect to be cutting a lot of trees in 2026 as time allows. Berry Root improvement, most of that money was from paving, and the other came off some of the line items, so I put 300,000. And then there's a carryover on the road improvement from the Swanton Hill Road project. So really, we're gonna have about 350 in that line item. Overall decrease in the budget of 3.63%.
The only
And I-
thing I'm gonna comment on, Joel, is the insurance.
Yep.
The 29,000, we don't have those actual costs of those yet. We're still waiting for that,
Okay, so that would be another one that we would kind of finalize.
yeah.
In January, depending on that insurance, so it may not be quite the same decrease, or, anyway.
So-
And I know there's, go ahead, Earl.
You got 300,000, is that all Berry Road? There's no other road improvements planned then?
Right, that line item came about as part of the Swanton Hill.
Yeah,
That's only been in
yeah,
there for a couple
yeah.
years. So, we don't have any other major road, issues or major culverts or whatever, so we're using that line item.
Now, you had the money left over from Swan Hill, so we didn't spend all the money we had appropriated for Swan Hill to start with then, did we?
No, we got a pretty good, deal on the blasting. And so that certainly decreased it, and then the amount of work we did with our own crew, we, 50-something thousand.
Did that saving show up in here somewhere?
It'll show up in a carryover.
It's 56,469 on the one of the last items on the second page.
Just some clarity about what the town garage loan is. What was that from?
building the new town garage, we're still paying for it.
Still paying for that, okay.
Yeah. The one thing, I took a look, I pulled out the, 2020 town report, and in 2021, for highway, we had 938,000 budgeted. And now we're at 1225, so that's a 30% increase over 5 years. So I think it's very reasonable that we're cutting it a little bit this year, and we cut it a little bit last year, but we are still, when I drive around Franklin County, we have some of the best roads in Franklin County, and I don't think we're in danger of that at all at this point.
You pull out the road improvement on Berry Road, we're back down there again.
No, if we pull that out, we're gonna push it back into pavement.
Oh, okay.
That's where it came out of that line item
I
for,
was hoping to find some extra grace there.
yeah.
Well, that's one of the big reasons why the budget went up quite a bit, was because the cost of paving, you know, went up quite a bit.
Yeah, and the oil prices
Yeah.
have settled, and
Yeah.
we're doing really good. You built it up, and I'm not trying to pimp a budget off. If I was pimping, I would go after these numbers even tighter. Watching what's going on up there on a weekly basis, we are well covered if we go with these numbers. I am very comfortable with that. And we'll adjust them to the insurance, and if you've got some other concerns or whatever, you can look at it.
Yeah, they're working on that for us. We called them today, they're just behind, they've got a new program and process and software they're working on, and as soon as they get us some numbers, he said everyone's looking for the numbers, what's the promises, and they're gonna get them to us in the next week or two.
One line item, the beautification at 4,000, do we still wanna give that to Swanton
Yeah.
Enhancement for, trees and stuff or not? Cause we
Well,
already give them,
This
we
is
give them
what,
1,500 in the general budget.
what we're proposing with our swamp promotion budget is that it all come out of the swamp promotion budget. So it wouldn't be in the highway budget. It would be everybody in Swanton would pay, it'd be a general fund. Cause right now, the way it
Swanton
works.
promotion or Swanton enhancement? This was specific to the.
Yeah, but we're gonna give the money to them through Swanton promotion instead of budgeting it. Cause right now, the highway budgets it and then the village budgets it. So we got, you know,
Well, I agree, it was a one-time
Yeah.
kind of deal. I thought that to do some trees, and the village said they would kick in 4,000, and
Yeah.
you said, let's add 4,000,
Yeah.
everybody said, do it.
yeah.
And, yeah, it's interesting, the village people are paying twice.
Right.
Essentially.
And, you know, I mean, we're gonna continue, we wanna continue with the flowers and stuff, so there's gonna be an expense every year. And, we put in, last year, actually, the village, had 5,000. And we had 4, so we budgeted 9 in the Swanton promotion budget to give to the beautification committee to continue their work.
Yeah, and I'm the treasurer for Swanton Enhancement.
Yeah.
Unless it's earmarked, I think we've given them a fair amount, if not more than enough at 9,000, because this was specific to tree planting. Most of the other planting and paying for the water, and they were fundraising on their own. So we can talk about it, I guess,
Okay.
when you get to
All
that
right.
area.
Yep.
So we wanna take that 4,000 out of here then?
Yes, that's what we're proposing. you
That's
know.
what you're proposing?
Where are we gonna put it?
It's gonna come out of the swamp promotion budget that we're presenting.
Which, Brian, did you forward that to everybody? Cause I sent it to you.
I don't think I see.
Oh, you
mine.
didn't get it? So the email, you didn't forward the email then?
I'll have to look.
Cause you told me you were gonna have Christina make copies for the board as well as
Yeah.
forwarding it to Kathy for possible inclusion in the general fund budget. And I'm not seeing it here.
It's not in the general fund.
Kathy
No,
just
I
said she had
never
no
got
idea.
told about it.
I can go get it, see.
Okay, so as far as highway, we can move off the highway, the 4,000, we can talk about
Yep,
that piece,
yep,
and then,
yep.
we get the insurance, and we can finish that up in January, if everyone's good with
Yeah,
it.
cause the fire protection, police protection, we're probably not gonna get till January 1st, or even maybe
January 1st?
the
You're-
1st of
Yeah,
January,
you're not,
probably the 2nd or 3rd week in January.
that's,
We have a deadline.
okay.
I just know it's like this. asking.
moving on to the general budget.
Can I just ask a question though?
Absolutely.
On the capital reserve, we're using 50 again. Is that enough now?
I think it is.
50 a year, what do we have in that reserve fund now, okay?
10, I just said it, 106,
something.
106, I wrote it written down.
I have it.
106, 747, 61, I think it was.
Yes, 106, 747, 61.
So,
3 to 4 years, we can buy another truck.
Or a loader,
What's that?
or a loader, or.
Right.
Yeah. I just wonder if it's gonna be enough, that's all. Cause you mean, with your
Yeah,
budget,
that's-
with the budget being down, which, you know, congratulations, do we have some room maybe to do a little back?
If we're gonna do that, we have to do that as a separate line, right? The capital reserve was a separate vote in, with the. We could, Steve, my thoughts is for 2026 with LOT and, education
Okay.
increases. No, that's just, again, I like the idea that,
I forgot about the LOT.
yeah, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
and again,
Yeah.
if people would talk to us and we could explain the actual impact to them, it's pretty minor, but when they see the TAX, that's gonna, depending on their moods, with, especially with that school increase, you know, they
Yeah.
could say, you know what, no taxes increase. All right,
Good.
general,
so on the general fund, the health insurance, that's gonna be a little bit lower, I need to adjust that. Because we have a family plan going to a single plan. And then it will stay, we may have someone picking up part of the plan during the year, so I'm just going to adjust it and that will be definitely a new number. The insurance ones for, I put in $30,000, but we don't have that information yet for the insurance company. And the other one is the Franklin County tax. I put 70,000 in there and that, I haven't gotten that and I will not get that until the beginning of January. And then the only other thing is on the appropriations. I have two that have asked for increases, Northwest Access Recording, we do 2,500 right now, they sent a letter that they would like to get $4,000. And the other one is the Vermont Center Independent on Living, we originally gave them 500 and they'd like to increase that to $1,000. And they sent a little, information on exactly, they cover, they, deliver, they help people with life skills, but they also assist in like little financial systems to make their bathrooms and walkways handicap accessible. They have 30 individuals in Swanton, this is all in Swanton, that they have adaptive equipment for them in their homes. They serve 530 individual meals to individuals with disabilities under the age of 60. And they help with some telecommunications with people who, low income, deaf-blind for hearing, help with their hearing, being able to get the equipment, the ability to help them be able to communicate. So, so in Swanton, they spent $3,300 on meals for residents. The home access program, what was for renovations to like making bathrooms handicap, stairways handicap, walk entrances, they spent $42,700. And on technology, which is what they use for like the hearing aid for the phones and things like that, they spent $1,797. So they're looking to increase what we give them of $500 to $1,000.
You're under the Vermont Center for Independent Living?
Yes.
Okay, okay, all right.
That's the only one that's
And-
increased.
Right, and the other one was Northwest Access, who sent a letter, who said they were, that their estimate annual cost covering the Swanton Selectboard meetings $4,000. Last year, the board graciously funded $2,500 to our efforts. Your support yearly would directly sustain the staffing, equipment, and post-production work necessary to keep the Swanton Town Selectboard's proceeding transparent, accessible. So they're looking, they cover more than 1,600 people, viewed your meeting on YouTube, and they're a 501(c) nonprofit organization.
they talk it all about the loss of funds at all from
Let's see, they
the
said money
federal
behalf
funding?
financial health stand covers for 10 years. Fortunately, our primary source funding, Compass, gave them a lot of money, and because the company federally mandated to support public educational government access television continues to decline at a accelerated rate of 10% each year due to the drop in cable subscribers. Reduction directly affects our ability to cover the cost associated with reporting, editing, archiving Swanton Town Selectboard meetings for the community.
I have my own.
When does this have to be voted?
It's same as the others.
In order, should we have a chance to look at it then?
We can, sure.
So on the note with Northwest Access TV, not only do they provide services with the camera here at the meetings, they are going above and beyond by offering programming to youth after school, and they really support a lot of different organizations within the community. Just something to think about. To me, I think they provide a very valuable service.
Okay, anybody have any thoughts if they wanna do an increase and how much?
So they're asking for how much, Kathy?
4,000, from 2,500 to 4,000.
And it seems like last year they asked.
They asked
That
it-
was, it almost seems like it was around 4 and we
Yeah,
kinda
it was.
hemmed and hawed and figured out what we would increase it to 2,500.
What was it before we increased it to 2,500? You remember that?
2,500? 15.
We went up 1,000, okay.
Can I make a motion?
Well,
Chair?
I would think that maybe we could go an additional 500 this year for Northwest Access, if the rest of the board's agreeable to it. Maybe we can do a little bit more next year.
Okay, I guess that's kind of discussion. I'm good with going on increasing it 1,000.
1,000?
I'm
That's
also,
just my,
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to increase it
Alright,
to 3,500.
there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And do you need a motion for the Vermont Center Independent Living?
She's built it in the budget and we,
Well, I put
Right,
it
you
in
put it
there
in
just
there.
for calculation purposes, that's why I'm asking.
yeah,
We
let's go
should
ahead.
approve
Okay.
it, Yep.
I make a motion to approve up the appropriation for the Vermont Center Independent Independent Living from $500 to $1,000.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And they go
Because
over.
we would have approved that when
I'll
we
let you
actually
talk about
approved this whole
that.
budget.
I'll let you
This
talk about
other because we didn't, anyway, it's all good.
Okay.
Now it's solidified.
Yeah.
All right, so I think unless there's more discussion on the general budget, we can discuss it further on January 5th, and hopefully we have the insurance.
Right, and plus, I still
numbers.
have bills to pay and quarterlies to pay out of these numbers that are on here, so the actual use is gonna change
Change,
because
yeah.
we have that coming up.
Yeah, I mean, Kathy's put a lot of work in here, so I'd like to have time to look it over,
Okay,
rather than just
Yeah.
a couple minutes tonight. So,
Well, so I guess in addition though to the general budget, we want to talk about promote Swanton as part of the general budget,
yep.
right?
Yep.
Earl, take it away.
Well, we put this together, and we have money in there for like brochures and flyers, promotional materials, stuff that, you know, we would give out at community events, etc. We left out the electronic sign and the wayfinding, additional wayfinding, because I was gonna, I'm assuming that sign's gonna be up in the 20,000 range. And that's more, we thought that money would be more appropriate to use some of the special funds money for that.
I certainly would support that.
Okay, we have money in there, some of this isn't all new money. There's 2,500 in there for the website updates, and this also includes what they call an SEO, which is,
Search engine optimization.
yeah, so that, hopefully our website would get picked up more by people looking for other things, you know, I mean, they wouldn't necessarily be looking at Swanton, but they'd be looking for something else, and Swanton would come up if we do that.
This,
That's what a lot of people do, using that stuff.
that's highway.
So some of that we've got budgeted right now, and I don't know, we may have to adjust that appropriation in the general too a little bit on the computer side, website side.
The money had a website.
We wanna take some more pictures and videos, for the different seasons.
take it off there.
So we can
Altogether.
use
That's what I-
that on our website too, and all.
Adjust that number to be whatever that is.
So we have money budgeted in for that, there's small money in here for different little things, the beautification committee, that, if, you know, if Joe, if you want a different number in there, you know, we can put it in there, but that's what, we put it on based on what the town and the village did last year.
Right.
But that's not new money either, so we're looking at around, probably around 10 grand of new spending.
But, and this is an initiative to put all of those expenditures in one spot,
Yeah.
because every village taxpayer's paying into this as well, so it's all coming out of one location. And so we can outline exactly what those costs are for everybody.
So does the village pay any of this, or they do because they live in the town?
Correct.
Right.
Cause it'd be,
They pay.
what you're proposing is this goes into the general budget that Kathy just presented as a line item, right?
Yes.
And this is how they would spend that line item.
So,
So it's like a new program, well, it's a new program.
It's a new person.
Well, with the exception of beautification,
Yeah.
which
less, so all tax.
4,000 out of that 9 came from the town through the highway, and then 5,000 came from the village. So, yeah, it's, the majority of this is new expenditure that would go into the percentage under the general budget. It wasn't, Kathy did not have this info apparently in time, so it doesn't show up there. So, you know, what does $20,000 do in a $1 million budget is what, 2%?
Not even that high,
Cause 100,000 would be 10%, so it's
yeah, 2%.
2%.
So my question on the website updates, the 2,500, it won't replace our website maintenance because we have a cost for that website that we split between the village, so I still have to keep a line item for that.
Right.
So that still has to stay there.
So is that 4,000, the town
We
split?
put that in there because there is some other things we thought might be coming up.
Yeah,
No,
no,
we pay,
88.
it's actually $1,800 that we pay
I
a
thought
year.
it all came out of the general this time because then it would go to all the taxpayers instead of the village.
It is in the general fund.
But the village,
Thought they
the
switched
village
it last year.
Did we
uses
switch
as part
it?
of that separately, so I
Right.
would think they would pay for part of it.
Right, we've always split the bill. When it comes from Echo Picasso, they bill me my portion and they bill the village their portion. We never see their portion. But it's the same, it's split 50-50, but they got overpaid. So we had a $900 credit. Right, because when they sent me the full bill, $1,800, and they sent the village a $900 bill. And I paid the $1,800, so we had a credit. So they took it off our current next bill coming up.
We haven't gotten a bill for 26 yet anyway.
No. So which is fine unless, I mean, we need to just keep that in there because we're gonna have to pay it as part of the annual contract that we have with them for the website.
But we're not paying
But-
twice.
No, but the question is
So then,
if we
then it
keep
would go down on
changing,
here,
but no, but you're saying updates on here, website updates.
or updates and maintenance.
So, my question is that the more we
So
add
you-
to this, I think
Do
the
you have
more
that
this is
number
gonna
from
go
them?
up.
No, I was basing this on the $1,800 that the town pays with some money for that
Yeah.
SEO. So
Yeah.
again, this is
Yeah.
just, it was really for conversation.
Yeah.
So
that-
this number might change,
So that could
yeah.
drop a little bit.
right?
Yeah, and my question is, with the website increasingly changing, is that maintenance
Well, I know
gonna
last year we
increase?
added more because we kept asking them for things that weren't in the budget.
So
Remember?
we're gonna get a bill at some point, probably.
Yeah,
He's
you've already
probably
got
gonna-
one, you're gonna get
We're
more,
probably gonna have
if they
to
ever get it done.
contact.
Yeah, well, we agreed to pay for some of that out of special,
Special
that,
funds.
that money we
Yeah.
said we'd pay out of special.
But those, Well, that's more or less a one-time expense, updating the site. Now we're looking
Right,
more
right.
at the maintenance and that SEO thing.
Yeah, you're trying to create
Yeah.
a new program and,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, we budgeted a different amount because he wanted to make sure we had extra when we kept asking him to do things last year.
Cause I haven't gotten any, like, any billable information on that.
But again, here, some of the money that we have also in this proposal, you know, every year since I've been on the board, we
Oh,
have
includes
town
the
celebration
annual
money.
fee. Right.
Which is the $5,000,
Yeah.
which is included in here for the Music in the Park series, the block party,
Yeah.
so
Does
that's,
the, chamber do any of that stuff?
no,
They're done with it now?
it's been.
So then that would come out as well?
Right.
5,000
Yeah.
would come out, okay. I just wanna know what I gotta get rid of. So
town
you think,
celebration,
so you think the website
5,000.
maintenance will just
Correct.
go right to you then instead of in my budget at all? then?
Well, it would all be in your budget, but it would be a promotion.
I know, but it's gonna be part of this
Yeah.
line item, so I can take that out too. Okay, so that's gonna go away. And let's see if there's anything else I can take
So the
out.
1,500 would come out of that, we can reduce the town celebration line item in the
The-
general?
Yeah, the 5,000 would come out of, it would no longer exist as town celebration, take that away, and it would go into the promote Swanton budget
Yeah.
for town celebrations.
Okay, well,
To
that makes
promote
sense.
Swanton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what we got in the promotion budget is a lot of the stuff they'd like to do, through the celebration, you know, the stickers, posters, maybe some magnets, you know, those type of things that, you know, we can give away at events.
The music series, the way to
music, yeah.
celebrate our community.
Yeah.
Right, so if we're already reducing general by 5,000, then your ask is really 15,000, kind of.
Kinda.
Well,
and
actually,
then-
we're reducing it by 9 because we're taking out the website
website
maintenance
maintenance.
as well.
And the
That's-
4,000.
But aren't you gonna
That's
have to
the
do some
4,000.
website maintenance?
Yeah, but we got
Well, they gotta
2,500 in
They're saying-
most.
But are they gonna,
They're said they're doing the annual fee in here, so.
they're
I'm
gonna have the
assuming
annual
if-
fee, it's gonna
that's what
cover
they-
it?
That's what they produce, I don't know.
Well, that's why we're going by the bill we've been paying.
It's just 4,000. I don't think that'll be enough.
Oh, yeah, I wanna make sure the web is maintained in a separate line in the general fund.
Okay.
And then if you're doing extra on the web,
Make it an extra.
that's a line that you
Okay,
carry that extra.
So leave my
but
4,000 in there.
I think so.
Okay, I'm just
That's-
making
I'm
sure.
gonna email Paul and ask him for our bill
Okay.
for 26.
Okay.
But you know, if you've got an update that's specific to promoting Swan,
Yeah.
then that's what you
Then
cover
that's what you
under,
cover there, okay.
Correct.
you know,
Yeah.
changes or
So
whatever.
this
Do it right now.
annual fee will come out then.
I mean, I know they billed extra last year for some ADA thing that had to be done,
And then we built on, there was a couple of extra things, like he built in the, set was a new page, and that's why he had us budget a little extra in case we had things we wanted to do.
But like SEP, that would be something that
That was a one.
changes under general if we're approving that because,
Right,
Right.
it's all under general anyways, that's what we're
Right.
talking about right now.
right,
Right.
yeah.
Well, we'll look into that some more,
Yeah.
but like you say, the 5,000 for the celebration doesn't really need to be in there because we're basically have everything in the promotion
Yeah.
budget. The 4,000 that we did for the flowers is going in there, so
That comes up.
it's not all new money.
I guess my question, we got a lot of ins and outs here. What, are you gonna come
Okay.
back to us with this 20 is gonna become a different number?
No,
No.
not this year.
Not gonna be the same?
I'd like to recommend the beautification get dropped by 5,000.
Nicole, I'll let you know.
Well, if you think they can get it done for 4,000,
They may have to plant a couple less trees, but they've got other ways to raise money than just through us. It was a very generous last year that we offered up 4 and the village offered up 5. Before, they've been raising their own money to cover all the flowers and the watering of the flowers. And then, do we wanna contribute a little bit to the trees? Maybe, but,
so you don't wanna put any money at all into the flowers, you're thinking it should go just for trees then?
we give the beautification the 4,000, let them figure out how they best use it, is my thoughts.
Okay.
That's just Joel's
No, I
recommendation.
think you're onto something. First of all, a lot of hard work in this. I mean, it's not something that just came off the table. But what I'm trying to figure out is, we're talking a lot of moving parts. some of it may be coming out of the budget that Kathy does, we're moving money back and forth. And so at the end of the day, is that 20,000, how much of that is actual new money, regardless of what it is?
Right now,
So,
I'd say about 15.
so
15,000 is new money?
if we reduce the 4,000 to 4,000
It's
on
only
beautification,
16,000.
that makes that estimate 15,000, and there is a $5,000 line item that goes away,
16.
it's 10,000.
So our net would be 10,000.
It'd be a 10,000 increase to the general budget.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's the way I see it, if we do that. If we take the 5,000 line item out of the town celebration, that drops it to 15,000, and if we take 5,000 off from the beautification, then that makes it 10,000.
Making notes.
That makes it a 10,000 increase, approximately 10,000 increase to the general budget. Does that make sense, Earl? I mean, that's.
Well, we did spend 9,000 last year in taxpayers' money here on the beautification program. So, you know, but you wanna take that out, yes, it's still gonna end up being 10,000. But if you take the 4,000 off that the town put in there, plus the 5,000 for the, so that's 9,000, and you're down to 15,000, so that means really it's only 6,000 in new money.
No.
Because we're taking the 5,000 town celebration out.
Okay, so
And that's
that
going
makes
in here.
that makes it 15, and
Yeah,
then we
okay, that's right, we're at
reduce the
15,
other
yeah.
by 5, it makes
Yeah.
it 10,000.
Yeah.
A 10,000 increase to the general budget if they rework the numbers the way we just.
And that's the net.
That's the net increase.
All the little dominoes are going
The
around.
beautification
want,
line
call it
item
promote
would be a
Swanton.
net,
Correct.
it'll show probably 15,000, but 5,000 is coming out of that, so it'd be a net of 5, or net of 10, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the bottom line is that the town looked beautiful this year,
Yeah.
with all the flowers. I mean, they really did a good job.
Right.
There shouldn't be a law, we need them.
One of
to
the
do it.
nicest, I think,
I
in
can't do it.
Vermont. But there's a cost to it.
Yeah, there is.
On a little bit for
It's not-
special
it's not cheap.
You know, they,
But-
beautification's paying almost 7,000 just to water them. And they're looking for ways to do it with less money, because that's a lot of money. They raise quite a bit, they get a lot of donations.
So do we need a motion to enact this 10,000 or let the?
Then we come back with our revised numbers.
Come back with a revised number,
Yeah.
I would say.
Good.
They'll give us a revised beautification
We're going with
budget, and
15.
Kathy will put a line item
Yeah.
in.
And we're going with 15.
Correct, because we're taking 5,000 off the other line, so it'll show us 15 on your general budget, but net 10.
That
I
may
already
get
got it
adjusted,
crossed
we're
out.
gonna have to look at that computer,
Right, a
thing.
little bit, yeah.
Just two thoughts. Has Promote Swanton talked about engaging in fundraising at all? Bringing them to come in? Or-
No, we don't, not the group, not our group, no.
No.
But
Okay.
there may be grant opportunities
Yeah.
that we can look in for ways to raise funds for wayfinding, and some of these other things.
I mean, Promote Swanton is essentially a subgroup of village and town,
Yep.
so they're not like a separate organization who's got extra manpower and time and stuff, right? I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Nope, it's me, Earl, and Susie.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just to get that out there, what Promote
And don't be
Swanton.
afraid to put a lot of footnotes on here, because you
Sure.
guys know this thing inside and out. When we look at it, we just scratch our heads. So put as much detail in there as you can.
You got it? Well, that's why I tried to offer descriptions, but I'll add more.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just do a legend on the back, something
Okay.
like that, so we can do it yourself. And we can date it next time too.
I will make note of that too.
Thank you.
And would you think it'd be worthwhile to bring beautification in to get their opinion, or do you think that's gonna?
I think they will work with the number we give them.
Okay.
We could always squeeze a little more from somewhere if we decided to, if they really came in here, but,
Did you increase that?
No, I
that's
didn't.
what I'm recommending is.
Miscellaneous
Give it to the chair.
expenses? No, you need to.
So the next item we were gonna look at is the library, which is the repair or the library maintenance, but I don't see that in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it should, everyone got it.
It's
It
separate.
should be with your other budget. It was just a single page.
All right.
I can give you another one though.
Is that this, is this it right here?
Yes.
Yep. That's it.
All right, who said they got one they can hand me so I can keep moving here? Thank you. Library, 1.3% increase, reduction in the unemployment and training, sprinklers, increased building insurance, that number we don't know for sure.
No, but I just put in a worst case scenario at this point until we get it, so no, that's not correct at this point.
Why is it showing 100% change for workers' comp?
I don't know why, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
I'll fix that.
And employee salaries, doesn't seem to go up very much.
Because the number that, I do a spreadsheet on what their salaries are, and it was higher than what, projected was higher on the form than what I calculated, and I did the increases, so I didn't have to increase it as much.
Okay, so the 3% is built
It's
into your
built
new
into there,
number.
but we,
Didn't need it.
Right.
Okay,
exactly, if that makes sense, when you say
Yeah.
it right, yeah, no.
so this will get revisited.
Right, because we still have more expenses, once again, we have the quarterlies, we're gonna have probably another health insurance payment. So once I get, my only question is, I talked to Brian about it, is we budgeted $20,350 in building maintenance because we had two things that needed to get done last year. The sprinklers needed to be updated and Alliance had to do compressors, but, so I didn't know if we should just leave it at $20,000 this year too, just in case something happens.
Oh, we
Well,
should,
looking at the
because
elevator,
we should, because we're looking at some pumps. and
Yeah, okay,
Any one of those air conditioners goes down, you're talking five.
No, I'd leave it in there.
Okay, all right.
Definitely leave it in there, yeah.
Although we are building in capital, but I would leave it at that amount.
Yeah.
For that building?
Yep.
Any other folks, any other thoughts? We'll look at this one more time. All right, conversation of changing lister positions to appointed versus elected. Nick asked me to put this on the agenda. So Nick, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this.
Okay, this has been discussed before.
You're welcome to come back to the table if you like.
So, many towns have been finding that they've been having trouble finding listers to run for their positions. There's a lot of training to it. There is a lot of technical expertise that you need for it. So a lot of towns have been voting on town meeting day to go from a board of listers to a full-time assessor. I looked into it. The average salary for a full-time assessor would be $67,531.
Is there a range, or is that the
That's the average.
average?
The range, I've read a lot of job postings, the range seems to be about $25 to $35 an hour, depending on experience.
How many hours a week?
For a full-time 40, yeah.
Plus pennies and.
Yeah, plus benefits, yeah, everything else that goes with it. A lot of towns, even the local area, have gone that way. I know, I looked at Georgia recently changed to a full-time assessor. Other, like St. Albans Town has a full-time assessor. Places like Woodstock and Hardwick have read an article about that, where they changed to full-time assessors. I know some towns, like in Milton, they have more of in Burlington, of course, they have more of a staff in their office, so they hire more people, but because it's a bigger list. But it's something that, it may not be an immediate thing, but it's something that if David or Kevin, we might drop off, we might have trouble finding someone to take over from them, and we may have to go in that direction. I know that's something that Brian has brought up before as something that we should discuss. So, I don't know.
How would this make the process, finding people easier?
Well, there'd be more of a pool of people, because if right now, if someone wants to become an assessor in Swanton, or a lister in Swanton, they need to run an election. They need to be they need to be a Swanton resident. If we choose to go to the full-time assessor position, then it would be, someone could literally move across country and we could get more.
So we'd advertise.
You can advertise and stuff like that.
And or Sorry, and or even if we just move to the appointed lister position, they wouldn't necessarily have to be a Swanton resident for an appointed position, where an elected position, you have to be a resident.
They would be professionally credentialed.
If we change it to the appraiser, right?
Assessor.
Assessor.
One question I haven't looked at all the election results, has that ever been challenged before?
But
Has it been more than one person running for a lister? You don't know?
I don't think, I never remember it being more than one run. It's never been a contested election.
Just be happy to have somebody.
Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
Just for the curiosity, I think I just read in the report that you guys put together, we have 3,329 properties. Well, you know, between the churches and the industry and second homes and first homes. Could an assessor handle that many properties?
No.
Okay,
And if a town hires an assessor, they would need at least one other person
At least another lister.
to do all the work.
okay. All
Because
right.
an assessor just assesses. The state of Vermont has listers doing multiple chores. We, in essence, work for the state.
So it's not just a one-shot deal of an assessor, it's as David says, maybe 1.5 or 2, and then you're gonna need some clerical,
Oh, yes, for sure.
you know.
Yeah. And I think there's two different concepts. When I looked at the agenda, it says a conversation of changing lister positions from appointed instead of elected. I think that's one concept all by itself, irregardless of whether a town hires an assessor. That's two completely different concepts,
So who does the assessing right now?
the three of us.
Okay. So a change of title and change of duties is what, let's say we're gonna go to an appointed assessor. Your thought,
How about an appointed lister versus an elected lister?
And state law doesn't have appointed listers, it's an assessor. If you're not an elected lister, it's an assessor.
That's a technical error.
See, I don't know
Yeah.
about that. I mean, I never had
Yeah.
to
That's
even
the
look
way
into
I
that.
looked at it in the law. It said you had the
Then why they
town
sign
may
it?
elect their listers, however, if the voters choose, you then
Appoint her versus-
You would appoint an
go
assessor.
to an appointed assessor.
That doesn't have to be a town resident.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that case, you are abolishing the position of lister
Right.
and hiring an assessor or with added people to work for him or her.
Well, we did a survey, Christina and I did, was it St. Albans Town has one assessor?
Yep, they do.
And St. Albans City has one assessor. Now
They have
granted,
people working with them.
well,
They don't do it by themselves.
The one in-
it's, I would think that they would definitely need help. You know, the city of St. Albans doesn't have current use to be contending with, I'm sure, but as far as parcels, I was surprised to see Swanton has the most parcels of real estate, according to the state of Vermont, than any town in Franklin County.
For a small town, Swanton has a lot of parcels.
Yeah. So, you know, that's, some of it. But from the standpoint, 40 hours a week, what are you guys putting in
About 15.
collectively, total? The three of you?
Peace.
No, individually,
15 apiece.
approximately.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more when we have to, and sometimes it's less when we don't have to.
I guess my question is, what's the advantage, what are we trying to do? That's my, there's gotta be an end product here, so what are we,
Yeah, I mean, that's the question.
yeah,
We did talk about, you know, if we have problems in the future as far as getting people to run. And then as far as the qualifications of people when they run, we as a board have really no say on that unless we get involved in the actual part where they're running and give opinions and that sort of thing. So basically from a town's perspective, I guess it's more control that the select board has over the work that's being done in the office and so on. That's one of the issues that was discussed, and
Right now, we're in a major period of transition, the entire state. Like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, legislature wants towns to go to having reappraisals every 6 years, which is going to require more people to have the title of assessor. So it's a good thing to be exploring, to know what our options are. Because we don't really know how this assessing is going to evolve over the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, legislature is having a very difficult time in making these changes and then implementing the changes that they make.
what I would suggest, we're going on close to 2 hours, and we know, or we think we know that in St. Albans, there's an assessor. What we don't know is how much assistance or not they get. I think we ought to have someone from the board go have a conversation with an assessor or two and get more information, because I see where we don't have all the information even to really go much farther into discussions. I don't know. And, you know, from your perspectives, you know, having this conversation is a little bit odd, because if we go with just one assessor, then that's basically puts 3 elected positions out the door, essentially. It doesn't mean you can't apply for the assessor position and that sort of thing, but it's, that's what might be an effect from
But
this.
these are all avenues that need to be explored.
Right,
I think you're gonna find they got assistance.
right, so, you know, maybe
There's just so much.
maybe it's
There's
hiring
so
an
many.
assessor and an assistant, and then, that covers the workload, but I don't know yet. I think we should do some,
You see,
Some
when
further
you
research.
take a new person in, if someone says, gee, there's an opening to be an assessor, to be a lister in the town of Swanton, and someone says, geez, I think I'd like to do that. And if there's nobody else and they put their name in the hat, they're elected, it takes at least 3 years for that person to know the full cycle of the lister job. It's not a job that can be taught in 6 months.
That, I will vouch for that, cause I know houses more than anybody here. And that's only this much of this much what a lister does.
Is there such a thing as having an assessor, and still have listers to work with the assessor?
Good question. It really is a good question. I'm not sure. And I didn't realize that you couldn't change a lister position from elected to appointed.
So just by reading
I mean, it'd be a good idea to be able to kind of have a list of pros and cons of just that.
Nicole?
So just by quick reading on the state website, if we did choose to move from an elected to an appointed, we could do so, but we'd have to develop a charter that would outline that.
Could you repeat that?
Just from a quick search, it looks as if we wanted to move from an elected to an appointed lister position. If we were to create a charter that outlined that, that would be the
So
avenue
there's a
to.
methodology to make that happen.
Quick assessment, yeah, is what I'm seeing, but I would like confirmation. I'd do a little more research on it, just to be
And
sure.
I gotta assume that it'd have to probably be voter approved too.
Absolutely.
And the charter would
Yeah.
have to be approved by the
The
legislature.
legislature?
Yeah. So you can do just about anything with a charter.
Lister to an assessor. You-
If the legislature approves it,
We'd
it's
still need
constitutional.
taxpayer approval.
Do anything.
Do you have something, Calvin?
I think that when you guys see this as different places have different assessors, like St. Albans, for example, there's gonna be at least a minimum of 1 assistant, if not 2, helping out part-time. So I don't, like, I'm not seeing the indifference of what we're doing now, cause we're doing 40, 50 hours a week as 3 of us. And each person has, everybody has their own specialty and everybody learns from different things. I mean, I've learned from these guys and they've learned a lot from me about houses. But still, like, things that come up right off, or phone calls that need to be taken right off, you know, or different things, like, we gotta do a drop and run. So we're in the middle of doing an assessment on a house that just had gotten purchased, and then we have a call about this, and we have a call about that, and we have a call about this. So then we research as a team to get back to them, and then we go back and do what we're thinking. So it's just, I don't know exactly what an assessor position would be as far as what we do together as a team.
Some of the trading is reimbursable.
Yeah, I don't
Some of the
know
training for
what
the
one
listers is
person,
refundable.
as me coming in here saying, okay, I'll take
They
the
don't pay for
assessor
laundry.
position.
Just, you guys, I can't hear it.
They order.
So let's say I'm coming in here as taking the assessor position. I don't know all these rounds, these other rounds that the listers were doing. And it's gonna take a significant amount of time to do it. Like, there's different things that pop up virtually almost every day. And Amy and David and Jim said, this is gonna take you 3 to 5 years. And Amy even said up to 10 years, because there's something new that's gonna happen all the time. So somebody could have the credentials, but are they gonna have the ability to troubleshoot? Are they gonna have the ability to work, you know, work off somebody? Somebody comes in here hostile. Somebody comes in, you know, they're arguing about, you know, what we did for their taxes. You know, there's certain things like that, so we sit down and explain it to them. You know, I just don't know how that assessor position could do that. Like, you know, I guess I wouldn't know. As far as housing wise, I would be qualified to do that without even a question, with my background. But I'm thinking about the other things that we do on a day-to-day period, where sometimes I'm looking at David, and I'm like, I don't know what this call is even about.
Yeah, so
You know, we're just having conversation about it. As me being here not very long, seeing it, there is a wide variety of things that we do.
Oh,
And it's
sure.
day to day to day, and we don't know where we're gonna be at any day.
Right.
So I can come in tomorrow and there's, David and I can work on 3 or 4 calls, 6 or 7 emails. And we still have other things to do on our plate. You know, that's just how I'm saying it. It's not a
And a
job.
whole lot of that is not assessing.
Right. Yeah, I think from a board perspective, we gotta do more looking into this if we're interested at all and going down that track. The whole thing of what's the process, you know, the charter, if it's a charter, then the charter, we could start that process now and we might be a year plus getting that done, right? With the legend.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a charter for one thing, I become a chartered municipality
I'm
completely.
gonna send you.
Yeah,
this
so then that
fact sheet.
creates another whole issue. So I think we gotta do some basic
I
research.
said it to him, but nobody did
And,
it.
we got a lot to do to just get through the budget season and get ready for town meeting day. So unless the board's got more they wanna discuss on this right now, I'd like to wrap it up and.
There is I will forward it to everybody, there's a great fact sheet put out by the Department of Taxes about elected listers and or hiring an assessor, because it looks like they have 4 different scenarios that could possibly be explored. Where there's just a board of listers, an active lister with a contracted assessor, an assessor with their essential responsibilities become of the lister, and then just moving to an assessor-based position, and it's got pros and cons. So I will forward that to everybody.
All right, please do that,
Thank
and
you.
then after
Forward
that,
that to the Lister office also?
Sure thing.
yeah, absolutely, and then we take a look at that, and then maybe we assign somebody to go and talk to, St. Albans or Milton or somebody, cause there's a lot of information. we're not
There's
gonna
towns
get.
that are doing that, and they're doing that because they can't find people, just like you're saying, they can't find replacements.
Right,
Because it's very difficult for somebody to work 15 or 20 hours a week somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, I am fortunate enough that I can do that with my other things that I have going on.
right,
But it's, you know, and so that's why a lot of towns went to that, because they left vacant positions, and I believe Highgate is one of the towns. They
okay,
have somebody come in and it doesn't work, I guess, I would probably contact Highgate too and see how that's working out for them.
yeah, that would be great, the more.
But I do think it's worth pursuing, being able to appoint listers. as
Yeah, we'll
opposed
look
to
at the whole avenue. She said there's 4 scenarios there, so
Yeah.
I mean, that's a starting point of
Right.
some things we can
Just look
possibly
at
do.
all the pros and cons
Oh, yeah.
from
I don't think we're heading
all
down
the
any,
methodology.
any certain rabbit hole at this point.
We're just giving you our opinion on it. 'cause
Yep.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
There's a lot that entails what this position is.
That's the-
This is just looking at combating future
Oh, yeah, no,
problems.
there wasn't anything.
Yeah.
It was,
And thanks for staying for listening to all the other stuff you had to tonight.
Absolutely.
We have, anyway, okay. Next item, I asked to have this put on the, agenda based on some discussions I had with some folks. This is conversation on whether or not to remove no postmarks allowed on tax due language. And I do this because I think it's worth the discussion whether we do anything or not, because we need to certainly hear for any impacts to Kathy and her crew. But sometimes I think we're punishing taxpayers who had great intent. Because when I get my tax bill, quite frankly, I don't read that sentence, and maybe we need to put a red box around it or something and make it flash, because what do I do when I get my tax bill? And I bet most of you do the same thing, you go right to the bottom line, how much do I owe, you know, and then you might take a look at how much is highway general, that sort of thing. And then I know we vote on it every year, but only a certain percentage of our actual town residents vote. So, you know, they don't necessarily see that that's something that is voted on and approved, and I bring it up for conversation, cause I would think if we allowed postmarks within the United States, Brian already told me he doesn't think we should allow postmarks from
You
Canada.
can't discriminate. Really.
Well,
It's
you
either
could do-
all for one for all, cause that's gonna be a nightmare for us. Oh, here's a Canadian, and you're gonna pay because you didn't, your postmark is not on time. It's like a
But that's a
catch-22.
possibility, I mean, if that's the way you write it, then that's the way we enforce it, so there might be some issues with a Canadian mail-in, is why we might go that. I'm just, again, this is just to get the conversation started. To me, it's like, okay, at some point, you draw the line after the taxes are due, October 15th, and if you don't have the postmarks in by November 1st or November 7th, then that's when you go after the people that are, and calling them delinquent, what that date might be, but I just throw it out
So
there
you're
for
changing our due
discussion.
date then?
What's
You're
that?
gonna change our due date from October to November?
No.
Cause taxes are due on October 15th, whether
That's-
it's postmarked or not, they're due on the 15th of October.
I know, but I'm talking about going after delinquents.
Well, they're delinquent if not paid by 5 PM on October 15th, that's what it says on our tax bill.
I know, but what I'm saying is if we go to postmarks, you might not get all those postmarks, so you don't wanna go beating somebody's door down till you give a week or two to see if the mail comes in with their money. If I get it postmarked on October 15th, the way the mail works right now, you might not see it in here till
Right, and that's
October
why I've
22nd.
preached for the past 5 years and why we put out in the mail, don't mail your payment. You walk over and drop it up the mailbox on a holiday and you can walk over here and pay on that holiday. And it's been that way right along. I mean, you can do what you wanna do, but making it, having a postmark for people who have post meters can put their postage on their check, on their envelope and hang on to it for 3 weeks. And send it to us 3 weeks later. And we have a deadline of getting money to people. And we have a deadline of rolling over, it's fine, it's.
I didn't say we
I
wanted
know,
to
I'm
change
just
it, I
saying,
wanna have
there's
the
a lot of pros and
conversation.
cons to it because
So
we get
people have post meters where they can alter the dates?
They put their own postage on, so
Okay,
they
well,
can
then
stamp
that's
the
why I
check.
wanna have
And
the
that's only because I
conversation.
know one town around the Franklin County who does accept postmarks. They're having an awful issue with that they're going by their postage meter. Not when they took it to the mailbox and mailed it. On their the postmark postage meter was this date and this time. And it's
Okay.
Fairfield, they're having a awful time. But the other thing too is we depend on that money coming in.
I know, it's
And-
already
and
10
it's-
months late.
I know. So there's a lot to it. It's like, so we get millions of dollars by check. So if everyone waits to send their check on October 15th, like even mortgage people who escrow and the banks send their money, they always get it here before October 15th. So if they know they can postmark on the 15th, they'll mail their check out on the 15th, and then we're gonna get it 10 days later. So it's just gonna be a nightmare. That's all.
Well, I don't wanna create a nightmare, I just wanna have the
I'm trying to figure out
conversation.
what we're trying to do here.
What's that?
I'm trying to figure out.
And was there a lot of
What
people?
are
I
we trying to
mean,
do? We're trying to make it okay to take tax payments according to the posting date?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
but if people have their own meters at their house where they can alter the dates, and that's a problem.
right.
That
And the-
alone to me almost makes this a non-starter, which I didn't know that fact, so,
Not that anybody would do that, of course.
no,
No.
no.
So just in conversation, we send out close to 4,000 tax bills. How many people have questioned that postmark?
Not very many.
And the,
One or two a year, right? Is what we run into?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just,
the other thing too, we gotta keep in mind, if we changed it for the town, the village, they have the same
Exactly.
thing on their bills, they're due October 15th, postmarks, and that's
By
gonna
4,
create-
by 4 p.m.
By 4 p.m., that's gonna create some confusion too, so.
and if they can manipulate the date and we got all the banks doing the escrow, then to me, it's almost a non-starter. Just wanted to have the discussion. I know I talked with you a little bit about it, as well as some of the others, and if we're all comfortable the way it is, we move on.
One thing brought up to me, and I think it would just be effectively moving up the due date would be like some sort of grace period for our payment, but that would just be effectively moving up the due date of it. Yeah.
You move a grace period, people will wait till the very end, trust me.
And taxes have been due on October 15th for how many years? So everyone knows the due date for the taxes. There shouldn't be, and know they need to be here by 5 p.m. on that date. It's been that way, I didn't make it up, it's been that way since way before I was here.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think in some ways, when we get all the special funds and everything done, and we didn't have to borrow money, quarterly ought to be a possibility, but I'm never gonna pursue that right now, but it's crazy, we have to get our money 10 and a half months after we've been spending it,
And then the other thing with quarterly payments, if someone misses their quarterly payment, then they're delinquent.
right? Oh, yeah.
So it's like, cause Highgate has that, they have 2 times a year payment, I think, but what people didn't realize in the beginning is if they didn't chose to just pay or had their money escrowed and paid it once a year, if they missed that first payment, they were late.
Yeah, and then it's a lot of burden on you, cause you're collecting twice, 4 times a year.
Well, it's,
Any more on that?
No, but I do have a question. If somebody pays, this is off the subject, but if somebody uses their credit card to pay, do we charge them a fee?
the processing company charges a fee.
Yeah,
So,
do we pass it on to them?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yep,
All
yeah,
right.
we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if somebody wanted to pay their tax bill electronically, just wire it, can we do that yet?
They can wire it, the trouble is with wiring is, it's more costly, but if they wanna do bill pay and have the check sent to us, that's fine, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They'll do a bill pay, they can definitely do that.
Yeah, all right, just curious.
Since I've been here, I've only ever had 2 people wire money in for their taxes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this.
Are there fees for debit cards and credit cards, or just credit?
No, they can do debit and credit, it's like any other
But
processing.
there is a
card.
fee for both.
There's a fee for both.
Right,
Yeah.
yes,
I know we had this at Vermont Health Connect where we were charging a fee for debit and had to pay a bunch of people back.
yeah,
But I don't know. Maybe some places what they can charge for.
yeah.
Yeah.
8F, energy audit.
Energy audit, okay, everybody in this building, and ever since I've been here, this time of year, we're freezing, pretty much. By the end of the day, I'm cold, it's very uncomfortable in here, the thermostats, we've got them pushed up. So finally, I got hold of Vermont Gas, and they're gonna do an energy audit of the building. That's scheduled for Friday, the 9th of January at 10 o'clock in the morning. So they'll come, looking at our numbers of what we use for BTUs and the amount of gas we're using, they thought that we were okay, but I said, well, we're uncomfortable here, there's something going on. So they're gonna be coming to check that out.
Well,
Do you use the heat pumps year round?
No,
this
those
is
are just
for AC.
Just the
ACs.
AC?
Yeah, they're old versions.
Yeah.
Do you have split, these split units up here?
No,
No, they're just AC,
just AC.
units,
Wow.
that's what units.
It's a hot water boiler that's doing the rest of it.
And I don't think there's a lot of insulation
I
on
would
the
be,
second
yeah,
floor.
he
yet.
Right.
wants to go check it out. I said, I doubt that there's any insulation.
And the other thing, I can't remember which plumber came here after we got our furnace and we're having trouble keeping warm. He said, actually, our furnace is too small for the area we wanna heat. And
Is
that
it
got,
one zone or two?
that got, huh?
Is it one zone or two?
Oh goodness, there's
Oh, multiple
Each,
zones.
there's
like 5 or 6.
five or six
Okay.
zones maybe.
Yeah, so we'll see what
Yeah,
comes
we'll
up
see
with
what
that
they
and go
say.
from there.
Good idea.
From there.
All right, billing for the,
Okay, for Central Dispatch.
Central Dispatch.
I received an email this morning from the Director of Finance and Administration in the City of St. Albans. The way it's set up right now, they bill Missisquoi Rescue for dispatch service, who in turn just include that in their budget, and then we pay accordingly. They are the only, or basically we're the only town that has that arrangement. They bill the village for the fire department and they get it back from us through the fire assessment. But they're looking to get so that they bill either the town or the village, so that they're billing all municipal, and then so it would come off the rescue budget, would come out of that, it would be on there, and then, but we would have it as a separate expense for dispatch fees. So I said, well, what's the fee? So right now, they pay, we're paying the equivalent, and this is town and village together, for Swanton Fire and Missisquoi Rescue, approximately $11 per capita, which is, equates out to about $74,400. Now, that's a pretty reasonable fee. They're going to, effective July 1, because they're on a fiscal year, they're raising everybody for fire and EMS to $15 per capita.
Ouch.
So for, and I don't know, I'd assume they split it between EMS and fire, and it's roughly just for the two, it's about 75-25, or excuse me, 69-31%. 69% EMS, 31% fire. And I haven't been able to get hold of them to find out just what they base that on, but that's nonetheless. So that would take the total Swanton dispatch fee for fire and EMS to $101,880 a year.
From what? From how, from what's the,
Right now it's 74,420. So anyhow, this is very new. This is new to the village as well, this concept. But I just wanted, Bill and I and Lynn at the village are gonna have to get together and sit down and figure this out. But we are looking, we do know now that we're looking at an increase just in the fire budget from the village, because that increases their dispatch. And then you take, it increases it up to, I believe, 23,000, well, excuse me, it would take, right presently they're $23,700 for dispatch for the fire department total, of which we pay 77% roughly. But that 23,700 would go to 31,558, so we would be there about $24,000 in the budget just for fire dispatch. So Bill and Lynn and I, we're gonna have to get down and figure out how we're gonna even work this out. Probably they would bill the village, and then we would have to well, Lynn thought would bill the town would get the bill from dispatch, and then we would bill the fire department, or the village for the fire department share, since EMS is a town general fund, so we take all of that. That's all gotta be figured out, and so that's where we're standing with that.
at the bottom, at the end of the day, we're gonna pay $27,000 more.
Yeah, collectively, we're looking at a substantial increase. And so that's a preview of what the fire budget and the EMS budget would show. For an increase, just in dispatching. And keep in mind, the village also uses central dispatch for police dispatching, and police is a whole different formula, because it's much more involved. So we're hoping to get more information, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we see that in the budgets next month. All right, library, snow on the roof.
Yeah, when,
Well, Kevin and Jeff were there, and I was going in there, and, you know, and Kevin said, hey, and he showed me the picture on his phone. You know, they had already broken the ice off in it, but it was a pretty good
and
sized
this is
chip.
on first.
Right-hand side, yes.
Well, he came in and he said that there used to be 2 holes in the ceiling for the heat. He said now there's only 1. Were you here that morning? And he was wondering if the heat was just circulating and not going what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, but they were supposed to have insulated that, weren't they? That
Yeah, they did.
They
with
did.
the spray foam?
It's insulated, and what's happened is when it warms up enough, it's still gonna melt and make icicles, and unless we get snow guards up there, we're gonna have this problem. It insulated, it's better, but insulation will keep it so the snow builds up on that roof, and then when it starts to warm, it's gonna start dripping to the edge where it's colder, and you're gonna get ice buildup.
I didn't notice, I went around when we had snow, you know, cold, and there was no ice built up on the driveway side between, by the church where it would normally.
No, didn't
that
seem
was
to be
good.
very
Yeah.
little there. There would, and in fact, I drove out that way just for the hell of it. But even in the front on the high part, there was very little ice.
Yeah,
Not like before.
right,
But
right.
just that one
Just that
spot
one
on
spot.
that.
Okay.
And we can take a look, I'm gonna go over on the 5th, or the 6th, I guess you said it's
Yeah,
the 6th.
yeah.
We need to, we'll get a ladder over there and look up, and we still should look for snow guards on the metal roof.
I was gonna say, I'm just looking them up, they seem relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, they're not
They're,
bad.
they're not bad at
No,
all.
not bad. Just want to get the right ones.
Okay, thank you. Promote Swanton update.
Well, basically, we've had that discussion in the budget. That's what we were working on.
All right, thank you, Earl. Next meeting agenda items, Swanton Police Fire Budget, Rescue Budget, and Town Report Dedication. Is there anything else, anybody wants to add tonight while we're thinking about it?
For next meeting?
Well, yeah, we'll finish up all the
Yeah.
budgets,
Do we
okay.
have a schedule of when we're gonna do annual performance reviews? Or annual reviews in general? Cause we've talked about it and,
No, I suggest maybe the second meeting in January, we try to lay that out and get some people assigned some things to do.
Okay.
But I think that this next meeting, we should be fairly busy talking budgets, I think.
just bringing it up.
Yeah,
Sure.
no?
Yeah,
thank
I'd like to see that on our second meeting.
you. Okay. Any other necessary business? Correspondence, email from Emily Walk regarding community shoe closet.
I believe that we got an email last week from Emily, who's a young lady who is a student at NBU.
Correct,
And she and a friend, and I can't find the email now.
last page.
Now, my packet always gets destroyed here.
Both Emily and Trista not only are students at MBU, but they're also rec leaders through our rec programs. They've worked for Swanton Rec's summer programs for the last few years. Emily has started a nonprofit of her own called Cleats for Feet, and she collects cleats
thank you.
from folks within the community. She reconditions them and then she gives them out to athletes at no cost. In addition to her collection, she has collected not just cleats, but shoes in general, and you know, shoes are expensive, and a lot of these shoes, especially when you're a kid, you grow out of them so quickly. And so I think what she's proposing here is she's looking to create a space in the community, that she can make sure that people always have access to it. Currently, right now, she has a trailer that she goes around to different community events filled with cleats. And we, as the rec department, have a donation bucket that is always overflowing with the generosity of people donating to that. And I know during our Little League and our fall sports leagues, we probably put out just as many as we receive in.
So
How
she's
big
looking,
the
oh,
space is?
sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
So she's looking for a place to put a 6x4 metal shed? Is that essentially what she's looking for?
Yes.
Well, I come quickly to think of library. The village already has a clothes collection place in their commuter parking lot, and possibly even down at rec, where between the school and the rec is where most of these cleats are gonna be used. You know, I don't know if you have a spot that you feel comfortable at the rec doing it. I know there's issues with, I guess, even cameras getting taken.
We've solved that one today, but yeah, I mean, it would certainly be confidential down there. I do have concerns about people misusing it if it was at the rec department, so I'd want it to be in some place that's in clear sight. I
Can
mean,
people just walk in and say this, they have all these shoes that these two young ladies are reconditioning, which is good for them. I mean, that's quite a feat. In feet, I know.
That's pretty funny.
and it's thousands of
It's
shoes.
getting in late, but, so anybody can just walk in to this little building and help themselves? Okay, all right, pretty anonymous, yeah, discreet. Good for them.
They are hard workers and they are very community orientated.
I see those little community libraries around, is similar, I imagine, to that.
Essentially, it's just a very larger sized shoe library.
I wonder whether you could put it near your fence and just, I mean, I would think they might wanna lock that up at the end of the day. You know, when you guys close your doors, lock it up, but I don't know. I don't know if you want it there.
Something I'd have to go by the rec board. I mean,
Right.
I think the elementary school would be a good place for it. They would have a lot of kids there that need cleats, that's for sure.
Is it just cleats or other shoes too?
this would be sneakers.
Sneakers,
Yeah,
not necessarily cleats.
right, sneakers.
Or winter shoes, if they,
Could be winter shoes, sure. It's whatever they collect in donation.
Yeah, see, I almost think it'd fit pretty nice next to that clothes collection one, right? The village, it's a village.
one is bottles, because we bring them up there.
Right,
The other one is clothing,
yeah.
maybe that's a natural fit.
And then this was sent to the village too, so why don't we let Brian talk with the village and
Sure.
see if they come up with anything and we can respond back.
Did
That
she
work?
house the building already?
No, I think she's looking to buy it. She's done fundraising. She's collected donations from folks, and I think she's, looking to buy it. I guess in that same point, making sure that she doesn't need a permit or any of those other things is a reason why she's reaching out to us, just to make sure she covers all those bases.
How old is she, Nicole?
15? 15. They're both 15.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's great.
No, it is, I think it's,
Okay,
I'll talk with Bill on that.
public comment, anything?
I just got one thing about other business. The road takeover policy changes, did that get moved? I thought we were gonna do that today.
Still working
Still
on
working
that.
on it?
Yeah, and there's a lot to do, actually, more than I realized, because like, when Christina sent out the, zoning, what's in zoning right now, there'd be a kind of a conflict, of things in there. We gotta work together with the planning commission, we really do, in order to do it right. Man, there's certain things in there that need to be put into any kind of town road takeover policy, because you need to put in the statutes that give you the authority, and all that stuff, so it's, document really needs work, but we do need a policy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spend some time, and I did it in the last 2 weeks, asking for the compaction test. We gotta put more detail into that piece, and I'm gonna spend some time on it, and I'll send it back to Earl after, and we'll keep.
Well, I did come up with a couple of things. They've got two different ways. They have what they call a nuclear test, and then they have another one which that involves sand, but it's apparently it's some kind of little meter that basically they're using out there. Now, if you wanna test the compaction capability of the stone going in, that's where you go into the lab and all that, but we don't really need to do that because the stone we're requiring that's in there should meet that standard.
You don't know that unless you send it to the lab though, that's why they require that piece first, but we'll work on it, and
Yeah.
get some info here.
But I would, if you're gonna, if you guys really wanna get a little more idea of what is involved, take a look at St. Albans Town's policy. They just redid theirs and re-signed it in June 25th of this year. Highgate has another policy too that's worth looking at.
Much difference between them, Charles?
Not really, except there's difference, this is where we're gonna get a little bit of confusion with our zoning bylaws is, you know, you do have roads that, you know, that the town would take over, that's standard. But then there's roads, residential roads and commercial driveways. And the way our bylaws read right now, it basically, you know, all these roads have to meet our standards, but we don't have a real standard. And in like St. Albans and Highgate, they kinda have two different standards. One for the roads that the town would take over, and one for these residential and commercial drives. So there's quite a bit there, but we need to get it done at some point in time. It's not really, it's not, we're not gonna die if we don't get it done right off, because I don't see any big developments being proposed at the present time, but we wanna have something in place, especially if any kind of major development goes on up in the southern growth district.
Okay. Okay. Upcoming events,
Thursday, December 25th, 2025, and Friday, December 26th, 2025 will be the Christmas holiday. The office and operations in the town will be closed. Thursday, January 1st, 2026, and Friday, January 2nd, 2026 will be the New Year's holiday. Office and operations will be closed. Tuesday, January 6th, 2026 will be a regular select board meeting here at the town offices at 6 p.m. Tuesday, January 13th, 2025 will be a planning commission meeting here at the town offices at 5 p.m.
We also have a joint meeting tomorrow.
At 6 p.m. at the
Oh, yeah.
Village Municipal Complex.
And I will also add that, I'll be working until this Thursday, then I'm taking Friday and I'll be off next week.
Good for you.
But I have my email. Sure, I'll be bored, so I'll be doing something.
so tomorrow night's meeting, think about questions you might have for the MVR board. I know they'll probably present to us a few things, but I think we should be looking at any questions that we might have for them. And did we get any discussion at all with Brian Monahan? Did he ever get back to you?
Yeah, he did, and he, we're perfectly fine having it in open session. He doesn't feel that there's a
Right.
need for executive session, and so, yeah.
Do you have any, as far as questions or anything, did he give?
No, you just wait, see what they're gonna say, what, and then.
So this is open
Open session.
Open session, and we don't know, we know their board's coming with everybody except the president,
Right.
not the president of the board, but the MVR president, and we don't know whether they're bringing a lawyer or not,
As
right?
far as we know, they're not,
Okay,
but, you know, we'll find out tomorrow night.
very good. Motion to adjourn,
I'll move.
I'll second.
motion been made and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so moved.
See you, David.
Have a good night.